Hey everyone, the Good Captain here, and welcome to the Ottomans Round 6. This is a game of 1914, played against a human opponent. Out of box, no bid. Okay, we'll do a recap of the French and British turn. Both are pretty interesting. So the French purchases one fighter, one armor, three artillery, and six infantry, and I don't know, it's something to be said about this French strategy down in Africa. They are producing 24, 30, what is that, 42 IPCs? How much did they collect at the end of this turn, too? It's some ridiculous number. Oh, 41, okay. Okay, anyway, they're making money hand over fist. Again, influenced by the Africa strategy down there, but okay. So he sends, for his combat move, he sends in the blockers that I pretty much expected. Okay, so he sends two infantry and artillery into Kiel, two infantry and an artillery into Alsace. And, you know, it worked out well for him in that he captured both territories, but it worked out poorly for him in that he ate a loss in each territory. So, we are surrounded in the rear, and this will create some problems for us on Germany's turn that we'll have to solve, but we'll solve them. So anyway, that completes the French turn, and for the British, 7 infantry, 2 artillery, and a fighter. So the combat move, or what his moves were, I think he sea lifts into Kiel, right? Swaps the mines, right? So now the British don't have to detonate the risk detonating the mines. And then he moves his army into Alsace, the British army into Alsace. So let's clean it up over here. Yeah, so again, problems that we will have to overcome in Germany's turn. Okay, and in Persia, he does a big push here. He ends up getting 24 infantry, 5 artillery, and 3 fighters into this territory. And then he moves up out of Africa. Okay, this to me is a blunder. I mean, unless there was some sort of, and I'm specifically talking about this air battle. So I have let me pull this up. When 3 2 attackers attack 4 2 defenders, and it must be fought to conclusion, there's no way to retreat, then the attacker will win only 19% of the time. That's actually higher than I thought. But anyway, it looks like there's an 81% chance that the defender wins or there's a draw. So, alright, I guess it's not totally off the table. I thought it was actually something in the ballpark of 90%. But anyway, you can see here that it's a tough row to hoe for the attacker when you're fighting even at one fighter less than the enemy. But the average defender units left should be 2. So no matter what, by the law of averages, the defender should take at least 1 hit and more likely 2 hits. So perhaps that's what he was hoping for, not to win the air battle, but to attrit and maybe get super lucky and win. But it didn't turn out that way. The air battle, okay, so there's some trouble with the edit mode, and I don't understand what he thought he was doing with the coastal barrage. So because he brought in units via amphibious assault, all five artilleries get to shoot. This also might be a blunder. So anyway, the roll for the this is just weird. So he risked losing up to 5 pieces to bring in 2 more. My artilleries blew away 2 pieces, which incidentally was what or how much he brought into the battle via transport. So no help there. And then his offshore begins, and the battleship does hit. So perhaps he came out ahead with all that in the end. I don't know. And then his roll was basically exactly par, and so was mine. So we ended up just swapping 12 infantry for 12 infantry. The difference is, he also lost 2 more infantry to the counter battery fire, and all 3 of his planes. So, just a loss of material on the part of the British, making this a very, very, very straightforward turn for the Ottomans. So let me make sure. Yeah, okay. We're going to purchase 6 infantry. We're about to. I could swap out 1 piece for an artillery, but this is not ideal because we're going to be making manpower trades here again, so we need to replace bodies. So 6 infantry is the purchase, and we push every piece that can into this attack into Mesopotamia, including that newly purchased fighter. So we're all in. We'll occupy the Syrian desert, send 1 into Smyrna, and the other 4 will go to Ankara. We're going to give up Arabia. We just basically have to. This is a big battle. We don't want to mess around with even sparing 1 infantry to protect Arabia. We need them up here in the front lines. So this battle, I'm going to run the odds on it. You'll see why I call it a mandatory move. When we run out the numbers, you can see that the attacker not only has a 23% chance of wiping, I have a 23% chance as the Ottomans of wiping everything out and freeing the territory, which is a respectable position. There's also basically a 6-piece spread in the Ottomans' favor. It would be crazy not to do this unless the British counterattack can hold water. So average attacker units left is 18 or 19. We'll just err on the side of caution and say we only have 18. And the British will likely have 2 and maybe 3, so we'll err on the side of caution and say 3. So they'll have 1 infantry and 2 artillery, and then we'll have 10 infantry, 8 artillery, 5 infantry. Yeah, so for 18 pieces, something like that. Now, technically, the British could sea lift in 2 artillery, so let's say they do. They're not going to bring that plane in, that would be foolish. And they'll bring in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more infantry and 1 armor. So this is the most probable scenario we would find ourselves in. So their counterattack is neg 10. So it's it's neg 3 pieces. Yeah, so we'd survive with 12. Yeah, it would chew into our artillery. 6, 11, 12. Yeah, so we'd probably lose 2 artillery, and then we'd have to pull, and then we would have to pull back at this point. But the material exchange is, the projected material exchange is so far in the Ottomans' favor. This is the battle we have to fight. It doesn't get better. It gets worse. So there was no. I don't feel there was any choice here. So here we go. That looks pretty warm. So 10 dice at 2, 3 hits. That's par. 8 dice at 3, 4, that's par, and 8 dice at 4. Okay, so we rolled it, looks like up by 1, which is always good. Yeah, so they've got 1 and 1, and now we hope to take no more than 7 or 8 casualties. 11, oh my god, they rolled up 3, jeez. So they stung me more than I stung them. Ah, this is a tough. This is a bit tough. Should we drop a fighter? We only have. We will only have 2 infantry. Wow. Boy. That stings. I'm thinking of what do we have left if we have 2. If I drop 2 fighters, that'd be 4. Jeez, and that hurt. I think I've got to eat some fighter hits here. Yeah, that was a hot roll for the Brits, and it was very opportune. Okay, so what I'm the difficult position here isn't so much about the fighters, it's about the artillery. So when they counterattack, and they're sure to counterattack, how much artillery do we want to lose? Damn, that sucks. Yeah, I think they came away better in this battle than I did. My warmish roll was not as powerful as their hot roll. Or what am I doing? So if I take it all on the nose with infantry, they only have 1 and 1, right? So they only have 1 and 1. And then they could bring in their armor and 6 more infantry, 2 artillery, no offshore. No, they'd still be foolish to bring in the fighter. Let's say we have 5. Just 2. Wow. And then 8. So if we just dragged this out, it'd still be negative, but barely. Average defender units left would basically be 10. So it'd be 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, it'd be 1, 4, 5. I'm losing half my artillery. So if I drop 2 fighters to add 2 infantry, that puts me at 4 infantry, 8 and 3. So this attack is, yeah, much better in terms of the material exchange. Defenders left would be 10. 4. Yeah, I think I gotta lose a pair of fighters, which sucks. Survivability goes up to a little bit. It was almost 11. So 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10, 11. And we'd have to lose 1 artillery. 7, 8, 9, 10. That's best case. 2 artillery, more than likely. Yeah, unfortunately, I think we have to. They could have had a warm roll, but not a hot roll. Instead, the Brits. I think I've got to drop 2 fighters. This will ensure that he cannot. 3 to 1 maintains air superiority / supremacy, so there's no risk of running it out. But we will have to retreat next turn. He moves in, even if we roll warm. He rolls par or less than par. We still have to retreat. We cannot fight the. This is the British capital. It's just the simplest way to think of this. The most linear way is this is where the British can and perhaps should spam all their units, and they're twice the size of their neighbor. So yeah, I'll eat 2 fighters. Boo. Yep. But you know what? I deserve to lose at least probably two fighters from that earlier battle, so perhaps it's balancing out. So let's place these 6 infantry and call it done. 17, yeah, that's a hideous number to have going into the next turn, 17, especially as the Ottomans, we need warm bodies. We're not buying any more artillery or fighters in the near future. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe he'll wait a turn. It is to his disadvantage still, in terms of material exchange. So maybe he pulls the artillery back, consolidates Persia, puts a pin in Mesopotamia with 1 infantry, and forces me to make a tough decision of whether to stand and fight or fall back. So anyway, all this for another video. Thanks for watching this. All the best from the good captain.